Good afternoon, everyone. I'd first like to thank Ringers for the opportunity to speak at today's conference. Packaging innovation has been a focus of many companies these few years. Pressures from various areas such as COVID, sustainability, and e-commerce being its largest drivers. My name is Darell, the Sustainability Packaging Manager at Milliken. I'll touch on some of these today, the key drivers, and how these changes can benefit you. My presentation today will come in three parts. Firstly, I'll discuss the key market trends, several case studies, and a little bit about Milliken. When we discuss packaging innovation, it seems that most are linked to three key themes: sustainability, e-commerce, as well as hygiene and wellness. As we know, the pandemic has catalyzed the growth of two of these three themes, which are now the main targets of packaging innovation. In sustainability, brands which have eco and social initiatives are increasingly being preferred over their competition. In e-commerce, we will see that it continues to grow across the region, impacting pack size, as well as redefining at-home sampling. And lastly, hygiene and wellness. Product efficacy is of course paramount, as we'll be displaying greater transparency. When we talk about sustainability innovations, the key areas which players are working in are weight reduction, such as down gauging, glass to plastic conversions, to address both carbon reduction as well as increase the robustness of packaging to address the e-commerce sector. The other main movement is addressing the wants of the customers. This is being using recycled material as well as recyclable packaging. As you can see, this is rather common demand from consumers all across the various segments of personal care. E-commerce is projected to represent 22% of all beauty and personal care sales by 2025, and we have to take care to ensure that the right packaging is used, to ensure that it's fit to be shipped. With how common online reviews are, you can be almost certain if your product breaks, people will end up knowing about it. Additionally, smaller size packaging allows for consumers' demand to try to be answered. Smaller pack sizes have become an alternative to sampling. Globally, unit volumes of liquid soap packaging, which include hand sanitizers products, have posted an unprecedented 57% increase in 2020. In Indonesia, the growth of dental care has benefited local players who have been gaining share. This is mainly thanks to the understanding of local consumer demands. For example, Sensatia Botanicals fluoride-free toothpaste has natural ingredients such as cinnamon, a traditionally trusted spice in Indonesia, while Sasha launched a halal certified toothpaste, highlighting the importance of ingredient safety as well as transparency with the consumer. Rigid plastics in hair care is lowest in Asia due to historical preference of affordable sachet type packaging. However, it's been growing since 2015 and is expected to continue to increase way beyond 2025. This is mainly thanks to rising disposable income in these markets, allowing consumers to access larger packaging formats. Rigid packaging, as we know, is more likely to be collected due to the average weight of each unit as compared to flexible sachets. I personally think this is a change that is positive for the reduction of the amount of packaging waste. Polypropylene has become a forerunner in sustainable packaging thanks to its low carbon footprint. It being lightweight and its recyclability, PP consumes the least amount of energy and water during production and produces the lowest CO2 emissions when compared to other transparent plastics in packaging. And while we still have much work to do to build up our recycling infrastructure, we are very confident in polypropylene's future as a PCR option. Given the low density of polypropylene, its cost per unit volume is significantly cheaper than polystyrene. Why then did the market not adopt PP in the early days? This was largely due to its inherent haste in comparison to PS. This, however, has been largely resolved with the use of PP clarified with NX8000, which has just about reached the level of clarity observed in water-clear polymers. With PP, there are three major benefits, one being overall lightweighting. PP, as you know, is a lightweight polymer. The other being to make sure the entire packaging is made out of the same material. Some of us who are working on flexible packaging may be familiar with the term monomaterial, and this is basically the same applied to rigids. Being able to make the cap, the bottle, as well as the label from the same material facilitates recycling. The last is enhancing user experience and potentially reducing product waste. Due to PP being softer as compared to PET, for example, it improves the user experience, being easier to dispense. On top of that, we found an interesting phenomenon which I'll share with you on the next slide. This phenomenon is observed when PET is replaced by PP. We found that PP detergent soaps tend to dispense close to twice as fast, leading to more convenience in use. Additionally, there tends to be less leftover content after dispensing. This leads to an opportunity for waste reduction. While e-commerce creates huge challenges, it also opens up new opportunities, especially when it comes to replacing glass with plastic. Clear, durable, low-density polypropylene packaging greatly improves impact resistance during shipping while also reducing weight. This helps brand owners to enhance sustainability and lower their overall carbon footprint. Ultra Clear PP addresses all four of these hurdles with a more sustainable and robust packaging option. Having reviewed external reports and conducting our own retail studies across many different segments, when we normalize for product volume and product weight, the glass packaging was on average about 10 times heavier than plastic packaging alternatives. And this ratio is even higher when we look at PP alternative packaging versus glass. What's more interesting is that these extreme ratios apply only to the primary packaging. When you consider protective packaging required in e-commerce, glass requires 2 to 4 times secondary packaging. Glass is not a sustainable solution in any sense of the word. These are just a few case examples when we have that we have conducted. For example, when I ordered glass packaged products like salad dressings on Amazon, there are always at least 4 layers of secondary packaging. And on the right are a few examples of glass and plastic equivalents, and you can see glass is 7 to 14 times heavier than the plastic alternatives in the same volumetric products. One of the materials innovations is the use of UltraGuard for HDPE tube shoulders. UltraGuard works by reforming the crystal morphology in PE, allowing for improved barrier function through the tortuous path methodology. This improvement of barrier properties apply to migration of moisture, oxygen, increased hydrocarbons and solvents, etc., allowing for substantial reduction in transmission up to 50%, which has been observed in multiple processes. These kinds of innovations are required as we are trying to move into the more material, more recyclable type of packaging. As we have to reduce certain types of polymers, we have to increase the properties of other types of polymers to ensure that the overall requirements and transmissions are met. Next, I would like to share some of the case studies we have conducted, some examples of various products in the cosmetic and personal care industry using our clarifiers around the world. The first being Eljulie, which they have originally switched their fragile glass ampules to plastic, ensuring reduction of breakages as well as avoiding consumers getting cut or scratched when opening. I think this is a very welcome change. Next is Dove by Unilever. Their premium marketing strategy which called for a design refresh to include frosted in combination with excellent transparency. Next was Project for sanitizer bottles. The key drivers was good clarity, lightweight, as well as good chemical resistance. Another project was face wash for Himalaya. We managed to increase its productivity, low energy use while increasing production rates while maintaining excellent aesthetics. Likewise for Nihar, we similarly managed to increase productivity, lower energy use, increasing production rates, and maintaining its excellent aesthetics. Lastly, for Nivea, our materials supported a design refresh as well to include frosted in combination with excellent transparency. I would like to introduce my company. Milliken is known as the largest private chemical company in the world. We have over 7,300 associates, over 65 locations globally. Our areas of expertise include chemicals, flooring, healthcare, and textiles. Our key purpose is together we strive to positively impact the world around us for generations to come. Our values include integrity, excellence, innovation, sustainability, as well as empowering our people. Milliken is the world's #1 expert when it comes to clarified PP solutions. Our clarifying agent Millard NX8000 is the benchmark and current leader in the industry. Beyond just having clarity which is comes close to water-white polymers such as polystyrene and PET, our clarifier enables faster production rates, as well as reduction in energy and CO2 emissions. We're also happy to support our customers obtaining the UL label whenever possible. This is third-party qualifications which shows energy reduction, which can be placed as an additional marketing tool on your products. In addition, we have a series of clear tints which allow for tinting to differentiate your products from the rest of the market. Our other leading products in the PP market is Hyperform. This allows again for shrink mark reduction, shrinkage control when pigments are used, as well as void reduction. Higher stiffness allows for down gauging as well as the same reduction of energy consumption and CO2 emissions. Likewise, we are able to apply for the UL label if you wish. We also have Showroom Gallery both in Shanghai and in Singapore. We have production and test labs with the larger one being in Shanghai and smaller but still well-equipped one based in Singapore. We'll be happy for you to visit us. Feel free to drop me an email or WhatsApp. My details will be on the last slide. To end off, we at Milliken make PP clearer, better, and faster. Thank you very much.
Hello, Darell. Thank you for your very informative insights of your presentation. Please, delegates, don't forget, we have a small activity. If you ask a very good question and answer by Darell Chung, you may have the chance to win the free Lazada voucher for you. Oh, it was like $30 Lazada voucher. So, wonderful, right? And as well, we can also learn some techniques from our expert speakers. Oh, Darell, please turn on your microphone and camera and join the live Q&A.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Please, let's publish the questions for you. Which one would you like to answer first?
Well, I have two questions, so I'll take the first one.
Okay.
So, is Milliken able to supply NX8000 to converters? Yes, we are. We do have master batch versions as well. So not only do we supply to PP manufacturers around the world, we also do supply to converters. So it's definitely possible.
Oh, that's a very short question. Short answer. Okay, let's go to the next one.
Okay, so for the second one, do we have any modifiers for post-consumer recycled or post-industrial recycled? And the answer is yes, we do. We do have a series of modifiers known as Delta Max. And these Delta Max modifiers are actually designed to improve both the melt flow as well as the impact resistance for impact copolymers, for example. So this is mainly targeted at the recycling industry. So yes, we do. And if you do have any interest in increasing your PCR or PIR amounts in your packaging, do let us know. We have successes in some cases of bringing up the material to almost 100% recycled with with the inclusion of our modifiers.
That's good. We always love to listen to the stories of success stories. Okay, we have one more questions coming up. Would you like to answer that too?
Yeah, sure. Well, let me publish that. What kind of other materials can be used beside polypropylene to improve the clarity of the product? There are several materials which are typically used when it comes to polymers. One, okay, there's two parts of this question. One is besides polypropylene, how can you improve the clarity of your product? What we have is actually clarity modifiers. So we can improve the clarity of PP itself. So PP is the base resin, not so much the modifier. So when you say you want to modify the clarity of PP, that's when you use our product. When you want to select other materials, there are other options in the market.
For example, PET for bottle applications in drinking bottles is excellent. Um, and there are various other options of polymers as well. So yes, there are other options. And please drop me an email and we can discuss this in more detail.
Of course. I'm not sure if we have your email contact. Maybe I'll ask our leading planner, Brenda, later. I would like to
I can
share
put
it.
I can
Yeah, I'd
put my
like to
email
share it right
in
away.
not a problem.
Yeah. You can type it in the public now, and I can share it
sure,
with
just
our
email.
delegates. Yes, that's very good. So
Yes,
delegates,
yes.
do you still have one more questions slot? How do you call that? The time for one more question.
I'm
If
not
you
sure
ask,
if we have your email contact. Maybe I'll ask our leading planner, Brenda, later.
oh yes. Well, I'm saying so. One more question is coming.
No problem.
Yeah. You can type it in the public now, and I can share it with our delegates. Yes.
By the way, I do hear some echo sounds from my
Delegates,
side.
we still have one more questions. Slot, how to call that? The time.
Darell, did you
Sorry.
to others?
I switched to the other session to put in my email address.
Oh
and,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, great. Yes. So delegates, do you see that? Darell, delegates, Darell is actually putting the text in the chat box now. So seize your chance. Have the great chance to contact with Darell Chung from Milliken. Darell, we have one more questions in the Q&A mode.
Sure.
Would you like to tackle that too?
Yep. How do you manage a weird smell from recycled plastic? That is actually a very excellent question. The main way people are doing it now is having some additional processing to actually remove the smell. But whether that will be feasible and how that will work on a large scale is going to be a difficult question to answer. We'll have to see in time. There are options of chemical recycling as well. And chemical recycling, of course, you get a much clearer, you pretty much get virgin material after that. So the question is, I think you're referring to is post-consumer recycle and mechanical recycling methods. And that's definitely going to be a difficulty and they should be working on it. For PET, for example, they have already mastered it pretty much. And I think they're working on the same technology for PP as well.
I hope that answered your question. This question is from Melissa Fua. Am I pronouncing your name right? I'm not so sure, but I hope Darell Chung has answered your questions. Okay, we still have some time, but we can also jump to the conclusion first while we wait for some other comments or questions. Chung, if there's one thing you want our delegates to remember and bring back to their home, what do you want to say to them?
Okay, I would like to say I agree with some of the other distinguished speakers before me, like Andrew, who just mentioned that sustainability in packaging should be done from the start of product development process and not as an afterthought. And the other thing is that sustainability, I completely agree, is no longer just a trend. It's pretty much a new normal. It's no longer about raising your brand image anymore, but maintaining it. So my suggestions to all of you would be to get as many resources as you can. The converters, as well as your raw material providers, as well as their providers, which we are. So global targets are closing in, governments are starting to tighten the noose, and we are all here to help. Together we can do this, and I believe collaboration is key. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you for that. And I got one comment and one question at the very last. Maybe you can tackle that too. But I will you can read the question to see if you're gonna answer that or not. And I'll read the comment from Melissa Fu. I hope I pronounced your name right. She said, "Thanks, Darell, for the reply. I will contact you personally to discuss the detail." Okay.
My pleasure,
So
Melissa. I'll be looking forward to speaking to you as well.
That's good. So let's tackle the last question.
So is polypropylene for single-use plastic only, or can it be used for reconditioned drums storage? Okay, polypropylene, one of the most famous applications, I'm sure you all know it, is Tupperware. So that in itself says that Yes, it can be used over and over again for multiple applications. So it doesn't have to be single use only. So I hope that answers your question. I think it's, yeah. For many famous storage brands, IKEA uses it, Tupperware uses it, pretty much Syngenta uses it. Pretty much every other brand uses PP for long-term storage products that you probably have at home as well.
That's very good. Okay, I hope that answered your question as well. So at the very end, thank you, Darell, Chung, for joining our conference today and giving us very informative, very good insights in your presentation. At the very last, I would like you to choose one question, outstanding one, from the question Q&A mode list, and tell me which one I should give the free Lazada voucher to.
I'll select Melissa's question actually. It was
So
very
that's
insightful.
question. Of
Very
course.
interesting.
Yeah, how you manage the weird smell from recycled plastic, that one, right? Okay.
That's right. Yeah.
Congratulations. Our staff will contact you later. So, Darell Chung, thank you for joining our event once again. And I'm looking forward to see you in the future events as well. Thank you, Darell.
Surely. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
See you.